Today, the team at Ionetic is extremely proud to be introducing rapidECM Designer, a tool that will fundamentally change the way of building applications for Hyland OnBase. rapidECM is a platform to simply create custom web and mobile front ends for OnBase without code and without reinventing the wheel every time. Think of it as the layer that turns OnBase capabilities into clean, task-focused experiences for end users across all devices. If you're not already familiar with rapidECM, the tool allows you to create custom UIs for both internal and external users without any coding experience whatsoever. Applications are responsive, clean, and built to work on any device, whether it's desktop, tablet, or mobile phone. Our REST API makes working with OnBase a breeze, and even this is hidden from all users of rapidECM. The UI is deliberately clear and uncluttered, keeping adoption high and training time low. All the feedback we receive is positive support along the lines of, "I love what OnBase does, but I find it difficult to work with and to train others on." With rapidECM, we get the best of both worlds. From day one, rapidECM has always been fully multilingual, allowing you to scale applications globally across different audiences in different countries speaking different languages. And finally, and probably most importantly in the current market, all applications can easily incorporate your corporate branding with logos, colors, fonts, and make them customizable to match your marketing team's requirements. So rapidECM has been proved by customers to be powerful, flexible, and fast. But today it still means editing configuration files to get things right. It's certainly not programming, but it still does need some technical knowledge. That's the feedback we've heard again and again. Great capabilities, but editing configs is still an effort. We're about to remove that bottleneck and make building with rapidECM even more intuitive and even more straightforward. So introducing rapidECM Designer. Today you'll see how we take the speed and flexibility of rapidECM and make it even easier to apply in real-world projects. The key shift is moving away from hand-editing configuration files and into a visual, guided way of designing and maintaining your setup. rapidECM Designer is a full drag-and-drop builder for rapidECM. It helps teams move faster with true code, reuse of all the rapidECM widgets you already know, and to assemble pages through simple layout and styling controls. Translation is built, even with AI tools to help you, so it's easier to deliver consistent experiences across languages. And all the time, the rapidECM Designer is fully integrated with OnBase, allowing selection of existing custom queries, document types, keywords, life cycles, and many more things. So let's jump into the tool and see how simple it is to create and maintain your new front-end applications with less effort and more consistency. So let's have a look at how quickly the new rapidECM Designer can help you build a custom portal for your OnBase system. So what I've done here in advance is create an empty portal. All it really has is this landing page, and I can log in to my system. And you can see I've got a very simple plain page that just has one widget, an HTML content control that has an HTML file with a simple welcome message. So that's all we have to begin with. From there, let's go across to the new rapidECM Designer. And when you come in here, you'll see a number of things. Over on the left, we have the toolbox where we have access to all our rapidECM widgets. We have close to 30 widgets available that allow access to all sorts of OnBase and supporting functionality to build the custom portal you wish for. In the middle of the screen, we have what we know as the canvas, which is really where you're going to lay out your widgets to create that portal. If I drag and drop randomly a widget onto the canvas, you'll notice over on the right hand side I now see the properties. These are relevant to the widget type that I just dropped. So I dropped a basic search and I'm seeing basic search properties. As well as where it's going to go on screen, the placeholder, I'm going to see things like the title, the custom query. So it's going to execute a custom query in OnBase. Now I can type in here, but wouldn't it be great if I could actually pick out from a list of pre-existing OnBase custom queries? And that's one of the features this tool provides. So if I go into settings and across to the OnBase tab, you can see here I can access and set a rapidECM service layer. So by service layer we mean effectively a REST API, but I can add that with my username and password, and I can connect to OnBase, and I get a green message to say that it's found 9 custom queries. We'll come back to that in a moment. While we're in here though, let's do some other settings within the screen here. So there's a few general settings. I'm going to create an application called demo. By default, it's going to be in British English, but we're not going to get into translations today, but we can do in the future. I'm going to access a particular portal called GW Demo, and I'm going to pick my base folder as the GW demo that's going to host that site. In content, I can do other things. I can set various titles and things like that. I can set the menus within my portal. I can set rules about uploading and things like that, but I'm not going to do that for now. If I come back in here, the first thing I want to point out before we get into building this is the design doctor up at the top here. And at the moment, it's in red and showing 2 errors. And effectively in here, I get warnings and errors within the portal that I'm building. So in this case, I've got no title set, which is just on that widget. That's fine. More importantly, though, I don't have a page title for the whole application. So I'm going to go back to settings, to content, and I'm going to call this demo portal. As I do, you notice the error disappears. I'm now down to 1. I'm going to delete that sample widget. Still got 1 error, but if I go on there, it's purely telling me that I haven't actually added any widgets. So that's good. We're good to go. Let's build up our portal. And when I do that, before I do that, let's get into how quickly I can actually build this. So I should have started this earlier. So to allow for the time we've already spent building, I'm going to start the clock at 1:45. And then we'll build our page. Now, first of all, on here, we can see the template. The template in rapidECM terms is the general grid that we're laying out. And you can see we've got a 3x3 grid here. If I click on template, I have access to the pre-built templates within rapidECM and eventually any custom ones that I also pick. But for now, I'm going to go for this template 5. 2 columns, 3 on the left, 2 on the right, and you can see it changes the general layout that we're going to build. So let's start putting some widgets in there. We'll put an HTML content widget. We'll put a multi-doc upload to upload files. Let's have an FAQ. I'm going to run a search, and if I'm going to search for something, I'm going to need somewhere to put it. So I'm going to put a basic viewer into the last cell. The doctor number's gone right up. Let's have a look at that. Okay, most of them are no title set, and we'll come back to the red ones at the top. So let's just run round each widget, and we'll put a title in here. So let's put welcome to our portal. We'll put upload documents. So we're just setting the title message on each widget here. In here, we'll go with frequently asked questions. I'll go for invoice search, and we'll go for document viewer in there. And you can see as I make each change, the doctor is constantly being updated. I've now got 3 errors, and okay, these are all to do with my multi-doc upload. I can go directly there, and it will take me to it, and it will take me to the particular properties that I want. But let's come back to that in a moment. Let's work our way quickly round each of them. So HTML content widget is just to display a URL or an HTML file. I can browse off to my hard drive, and I've got a file in there called vendorwelcome.html. I happen to know, and this is down to how the HTML is designed, it works best with a height of 310, but don't worry about that too much. If I go to the FAQ widget, I'm going to want to point to the FAQs.json, which is literally a file containing question, answer, potentially in multiple languages. I'll go to basic search, and in here, I really want to run an OnBase custom query. And you can see now I've got a little tick and a number. If I click on the arrow, now I do have access. And these are custom queries that are already built on my OnBase system. So I'm going to pick the AP vendor portal there, and I'm going to make it a quarter height. That's fairly arbitrary. The viewer, not much I'm going to change in here. The viewer type I'm going to make full, just gives us a lot more functionality for viewing the file. I'm going to turn off a couple of these parameters on there, and I'm basically pretty much good to go. I've still got 3 errors. Oh, of course, they're the same. I didn't go back to my multi-doc upload. So in here, let's start by picking document types. I'm going to have PO invoices. I can't quite remember the name of the others, so I can type and pick out purchase orders. In keywords, I'm going to have the invoice number. I'll have the PO number, and I'd quite like to capture the vendor ID, which we could automatically fill in, but for now we'll have as a field, and that should be good to go. I'm still showing an error on the design doctor. Oh yes, of course, I have to put a default document type from the ones that I chose. So in there, I'm just going to make that AP PO invoices. And I'm now showing green on my design doctor. Effectively, I think I'm ready to go. So I can go to the deploy. I have set the base directory. If I can optionally show how it's going to organize the folder structure within it. It's going to tell me it's going to create a folder called demo containing the config demo.json. I have an option for how I'm going to store various assets like style sheets and logos and things. And in fact, that just reminds me, let's actually quit the deployment. I'm going to quickly go back in, and on the content page, I can set logos. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to go to my common assets, and I'm going to use 2 extremely boring logos, but I'm going to use this gray logo square, and I'm going to use that for 2 of the options. And then for my 3rd one, this will be the logo at the top of each page. I'm going to create a similar boring logo, but a much wider, not as high one. Sorry, let's go back to deploy, go through the wizard, make those choices, review it, deploy it, and it's done. Go back to my demo, just refresh that website, log on here. First of all, there's that logo that I just picked. And there, with the logo we wanted, my HTML file, my frequently asked questions that I showed, the document types and keywords that I chose for upload, an executed custom query, which as I click on an invoice, displays my document. Stop the clock. There's how quickly we can build a portal. Now let's make some small changes. Let's go back to the designer. Let's go into settings, and we'll start off with something simple. Let's change the logo. We'll get rid of those boring grey logos, and we'll come in and we'll pick the rapidECM logo, the first couple. And then we'll pick the version of the rapidECM logo for a horizontal header that's going to appear at the top of every page. Let's go into styles, and in here we have a style editor. Top half of the screen is just like a preview dummy, just to show us the kind of widgets we would expect to see. In the bottom half we can edit colors, fonts and the like. Let's just do a couple of simple changes. Let's say we're working for a customer whose color scheme is kind of a dark red. For the accent colors, the secondary kind of headers, let's go for a darker grey, but of course we can't read the text, so we'll switch the text to white. Can do some other stuff, but that does to prove the point. We'll deploy our changes and go through the wizard again. Nothing's changing, and we're done. Back to our portal, give it a refresh, go in. Straight away you can see the dark red has appeared, and there's our rapidECM logo. We log in and there's that same dark red color scheme. As I move over each widget, the title bar changes to the dark gray, and we've got our horizontal logo up at the top there. So not only you can see how quickly we can build the portal, but we can make significant changes all the way through it as well. Just want to quickly show you one last thing in this video. Now I'm going to do this in a completely separate video, much more detail, but I want to show you an important principle here in rapidECM, which is multilingual applications. From day one, we've always believed in our applications being multi-language. So you'll notice next to a lot of the fields, things like the titles, is this globe icon. And I've already loaded up a language string file into here. But if I go in here, as well as typing a string, I can actually pick out from a language table. My base language here is British English, but I can come in here and I can choose the string that I wanted. So let's go for search title, which currently in English is set to my invoices. You notice in the little properties window, you get the code of the string in English, what it is. Let's do one more. Let's do the welcome. Don't know the name of the string, and I could have hundreds, so let's do a welcome. And here you can see it brings back welcome to our portal. I will deploy again. And I'm done. I'll refresh again. And at first, nothing appears to change. We've got our same titles and everything else. Now, if the user was using French, or if manually we go and pick French from the list, you'll notice, not every word because I've only done the first couple of strings, but my invoices and welcome to our portal have been changed accordingly. And that, as I say, would typically be picked up as the default from the browser that the user is using, the locale that they're using to do that. So hopefully that's given you an introduction to not only rapidECM itself, but also the new designer and what that adds on top of to make your portal development truly drag and drop low coding. rapidECM Designer will be a no-cost upgrade to existing customers and part of the core product moving forward. To get more information or a further demo, please don't hesitate to contact us at info@rapidecm.com, through our website, rapidecm.com, or through our LinkedIn channel.